Resin printing. Is it really safe, or is this stuff liquid death?
Biff, pow, zap, clunk, clunk, ouchie.
Hey guys. I can be a bit of a joker, and I'll be honest, I'm typically the first to ignore safety guidelines. But if you care at all about your own health or that of your family, what follows may just potentially save your life. Resin printing is great fun, and it's growing in popularity. But whilst the technology is not new, it was originally patented in 1986, not a lot has happened with it until very recently. And unfortunately, new things often bring ignorance along for the ride. And that can be very, very scary. These days we think of asbestos as a dangerous substance, but in the mid-19th century, it was something of a wonder material. It could do almost anything and was relatively cheap to manufacture. So it was used for a myriad of purposes, from roofing a hospital to insulating pipes in homes. Yet, as early as the 1900s, various researchers were spotting health-related issues. But even with factory workers dropping like flies throughout the early 20th century, very little was done, as medical legislation like this seems to move at a snail's pace. It wasn't, in fact, until the 1970s, once these harmful effects had finally been accepted and collated under the term asbestosis, that the use of the material was gradually phased out. Could this be the future of 3D printable resin? From the little research that I've done, the question of how safe resin is cannot yet be conclusively answered. We're lacking data, we're lacking time, and we're lacking research. But of course, we can always apply conjecture. Typically, resins are toxic, so you don't want to swallow the stuff, which should be fairly obvious to all but the terminally dim. But our children are less sensible, and these bottles don't come with safety lids. So keep your resins locked away from the kiddies and the brother-in-law. We do know that resin can burn the skin. You may have seen horrific pictures across the internet. However, this isn't necessarily the chemical composition of the material. The burn tends to occur as the resin is exposed to UV light, which, despite what folks on the internet tell you, is everywhere, even indoors. And yes, I've said that before, and folks argue. But look at this. This resin set on the windowsill behind a double glazed window. Anyway, with resin on the skin, UV light can cause an exothermic reaction, heating the resin and burning the skin. Some people develop rashes and allergies after contact with resin. This is in its least form annoying, and in its worst form life-changing. However, some research suggests that sensitivity issues can develop over prolonged exposure, meaning that just because you don't get rashes and allergies now doesn't mean that you won't get them in the future. So basically, this means avoiding contact with resin should be a priority. You'll need gloves, goggles, and ideally an apron to prevent splashes soaking through your clothing. If resin comes into contact with your skin, you may get burnt, or maybe, eventually, something even worse. Resin generally smells, and some folks get terrible migraines when they're around the vapours. Others get sore throats. I've even heard of some people who started to experience respiratory issues. But of course, without solid research, this is just hearsay. Now, printing companies are aware of all of this, and so they typically provide us with these flimsy cloth surgical masks. Frankly, these won't do anything. When you're wearing them, you can still smell the resin, so vapours are obviously still an issue. You may think that carbon filtration is our salvation, and companies have already provided these tiny filters to use inside our printer enclosures, and many are profiting further by developing even larger carbon filter devices. And this means if you can't smell the vapours, that you won't get headaches, sore throats, etc., and that you'll be fine, right? Wrong. Odours are no indication of toxicity. Natural gas, for example, is completely odourless, and companies have to artificially add an odour, which is why natural gas smells differently in various regions. But whilst natural gas is non-toxic, can we really be so sure that this is the case with these resins? They are, after all, a rich cocktail of various chemicals. Pick up an average bottle of resin and it tells you virtually nothing about its composition. Some may even try to dissuade your anxieties by suggesting that they're plant-based and therefore as pure as virgin snow. And no, I don't have Snow's telephone number before anybody asks. Well, don't take things on face value. Hemlock is a plant, but it's still a deadly poison. If you visit the website of a typical resin manufacturer, you can usually find the Material Safety Data Sheets, or MSDS, though these can often take a little tracking down. From these we can discover resin's typical chemical components. And whilst I'm no chemist, even I can understand that alone some of these substances are downright nasty. When mixed together, well, we've no real idea yet, other than conjecture and anecdotal evidence. For this reason, I'd recommend ditching those flimsy face masks in favour of a proper respirator, one specifically guarding against vapours rather than dust. Furthermore, to protect others, ensure that your workspace is very well ventilated. Despite what you may think, the printer hood or those tiny plug-in filters or even the larger carbon filters aren't really doing anything. We cure resin with UV light, and here's the really strange thing. We, as humans, despite being surrounded by it, are not very well equipped to deal with it. A little UV is actually good for us, as it encourages our bodies to produce vitamin D. But some experts believe that 15 minutes of casual exposure 3 times a week is sufficient to achieve this. After this, well, it's safe to say that our skin hates it, our eyes can't take it at all, and in a nutshell, it's best avoided or kept to a minimum. And yes, I know all that sounds very paranoid and nonsensical, but do look it up. It's a nasty thing. Now we're hopeful that our printer enclosures keep in these rays, but I don't think I've ever had a printer that didn't cast purple shadows on the wall when viewed in a dark room. So UV light does escape. Similarly, we can buy UV torches to touch up our models, and I've even done this within my videos. But the recommendation here should be obvious. Minimise your time spent next to your printer and wear gloves and UV goggles, especially if you handle one of those UV torches. So by now, you're possibly thinking a little more seriously about how you handle your resin. But there's potentially an even bigger problem associated with it, and that's the cleaning solutions that we use. If we look at IPA, for example, we all know that it has a fair old pong. But it's commonly sold as a cleaning product and it's therefore completely harmless, right? Well, not really. Again, if we look at a typical MSDS for IPA, we can see it has potential dangers. It's highly flammable, as we all probably know, and it can cause eye irritation, drowsiness and dizziness. And if we look at the recommendations here, again they're recommending gloves, eye protection and more. If you open a bottle of IPA and leave the lid off for 5 minutes, the odour seems to fill the room, so vapours are obviously an issue. This just has to have an effect on the air quality that we breathe. Now you may think you're doing yourself and everyone else a favour using water washable resins, but if you're letting that wastewater flow down the drain, then you're eventually polluting the very water that we drink. I have no idea what the future of resin printing will be, and I have no idea whether in 20 years resin will be looked back upon as a harmless fun commodity or liquid death in a bottle. I do know that these resins are changing and developing every day, usually in fun and exciting ways, but I can't reassure anyone that these chemical compositions are truly safe to play with in the casual way many of us do. It seems we have 2 choices, and these are largely dependent upon your mindset. We can ignore it, assume it's nothing but hype, and let the future take care of itself. Or, more proactively, we can be careful with resin. We can still use and enjoy it, but by simply wearing a little affordable safety equipment and keeping the windows open, we can hopefully prevent some horrible health scares in the future. Depending on the seasons and where you live, this may reduce the room temperature and that may adversely affect your prints. But dismiss any silly filtration pipes, which don't really work anyway, and use an enclosure heater instead. Wear gloves, eye protection and an apron at the very least. If you want to impress the mother-in-law, wear a lab coat instead. And above all, wear a good quality respirator to avoid the nasty fumes. Treat all the products as hazardous and deadly, even if they aren't. Keep the lids on the bottles and keep the bottles out of the reach of the kiddies. Even your trash basket can be a potential health disaster to the unsuspecting. So above all, enjoy the hobby guys, but do it safely. Finally, I wanted to share a little myth busting with you provided by Amerilabs. Despite being a resin manufacturer, they are doing so responsibly and a while ago shared safety myths on their Instagram account which you may enjoy looking at. Here's just a few. Bio-based resins are less toxic. False. Don't be fooled, they're not as green as they seem. Protect yourself, read the MSDS and dispose of them properly. Water-based resins are the safest. False. Just like any resin, proper handling and precautions are crucial. Odorless resin is less toxic. False. Resin fumes may not always have a distinct smell, making odour an unreliable toxicity indicator. Wearing gloves is optional. False. Resin, if not handled properly, can lead to allergic reactions, irritation, and even chemical burns. Nitrile gloves are your shield. Uncured resin is safe to touch. False. Printed items may contain leftover uncured resin, so wash thoroughly and cure properly. Cured resins are food safe. False. Even properly cured, resins are generally not suitable for contact with food. Cured resin is safe for long-term skin contact. False. Prolonged skin contact may lead to irritation or allergies. Prioritise safety and contact your resin manufacturer for more information. Carbon filters stop all toxic particles. False. They certainly don't catch all toxic particles and they become ineffective very quickly. A face mask is sufficient protection. False. Upgrade to an organic vapor filter respirator. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and please take the matter seriously. It's easy to be flippant, I know, but really, is it worth it? For the sake of some gloves and an open window, why take the risk? So take care, guys, and thanks for watching.